Hello class, and today, as the title says, we will be moving back into White Town so we can grab another armor set, as well as going back into the catacombs so we can upgrade our great scythe to the fire element. So we will do this because this way, once we have upgraded so we hit into lightning and gotten the Havel's set, we will have two complete builds, one using the Eagle Shield and the Swayhander and Havel's set, and one using the Gold Hemmed Black set, which we will be grabbing, and the Balder Shield and the Fire Great Scythe, which will be more of a faster moving build. So here Petrus came back, so he's really flustered. So yeah, he's really flustered.
Oh, sometimes.
Eventually he'll say he's back some miracles, but since we're not really looking for miracles, we'll go ahead and skip that. Nothing really from him yet because we're not really a pyromancer. So as I'm about to show you, we are now powerful enough to one-hit the skeletons, so we can actually properly explore this area if you want to. But for now, we're just gonna head down and into the catacombs and show you guys where Vamos the blacksmith is. So yeah, even speeding it up, going back to places you've already been, is a little boring. Oh, one of those exploding head dudes. So the skeletons in this area actually respawn if you haven't killed their associated necromancer yet. This is a necromancer. You have to kill them before the skeletons will stop respawning. So yeah, as you can see now they're actually dead, and we can get loot and stuff from them. I'm gonna go ahead and rest at this bonfire. But in my opinion, it would be a little easier if you just didn't rest at this bonfire. But that means if you die, you'll have to go all the way back through the top bit too. So basically, But once we're done here, if you didn't rest at that bonfire, you can just return back to Firelink really quickly. So, actually, the Undead Parish, because that is the last bonfire we rested at. So yeah. So, I actually managed to kill the Necromancer the last time I was here, but I ended up dying because I had chased after him so long that he had let all his skeletons mopped up on me and killed me. So he runs away pretty fast, but there is a part where he stops eventually. So yeah, let's go and run down here. Get rid of this guy and this guy. So yeah, you can run down this way and get rid of these guys. So it's actually a pretty straightforward path. You just go to this stairwell here and head all the way to the bottom. And from the bottom, you simply walk off. It's kind of hard to tell where you're supposed to go in this bit, but once you figure it out, it is pretty easy. There's just a ledge down here. Then you drop in here, and here's Vamos. So he is the blacksmith that focuses on fire upgrades for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I think he's probably the most awesome looking blacksmith. So he'll go ahead and break open this wall here, which opens up a little shortcut to his room from the bottom layer of the catacombs. So he doesn't want you to spoil his focus or anything, but he's all jovial when you go up and talk to him and ask him to do some smithing for you. So anyway, the fire great scythe actually does a little more damage than the Swayhander, so it's pretty nice. We're gonna go ahead and upgrade it to fire with all those green titanium shards we have, and go ahead and reinforce it to +5. There is an ember from later in the game that allows you to upgrade it further, but no. But we won't have that yet. The Soul of Quelaag. It's mostly used for dex weapons, and since we're not focusing on any sort of scaling weapons, we're just going to go ahead and consume it. So yeah, now that we have enough souls, we can reinforce this great scythe up a little bit more. We had the perfect amount of souls. So yeah. So that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and homeward bone out back to the original bit. As you can see, the Fire Great Scythe has 180 plus 180. And it's all fire, which is pretty nice. So anyway. But the Zweihander is still pretty powerful. It has maybe a little less damage, but other than that, it's pretty awesome. It has a lot of poise breaking ability. And once we upgrade it to lightning, it'll have way more damage than the Great Scythe ever will. So yeah. Let's go ahead and just try to get a choo-choo train following you. Yeah, go ahead and run back up to Firelink. It's actually going to be a pretty long, sped-up run here. Yeah. I actually had a really long sped-up bit where I actually went all the way to the Undead Parish and back, just so I could have a bonfire to rest at, because the Firekeeper is dead. So this bit is really long and really unnecessarily long, so I had to speed it up a little bit more than the other ones. So in this bit I'm going to show you a neat little mechanic where bonfires actually don't work when there's enemies nearby. Because there's this guy, you kill him and it works. So yeah, let's run back to Firelink and show you guys Blighttown and a special item we can get pretty early on and fairly easily that allows us, that is probably one of the most fire resistant armors in the game. Okay. Anyway. And let's run down here. And let's head back down to the Blighttown shortcut from New Londo and the Valley of the Drakes. So you should remember, just go down the elevator. It definitely helps and saves you some waiting time if you just go ahead and press the button when you're done, so that way the elevator's up when you get back to it. I use that trick, you can if you want, but it's not necessary. So here's more, so here we are back in the Blighttown shortcut. So I got that guy's attention and not the other guy somehow, so that's pretty nice. So, as you can see, our backstabs are now enough to kill him with only one heavy attack. But, I didn't show you that this time, but I will. Yes, one heavy attack and one backstab is enough to kill him. Now he is dead, and we can move on mostly in peace. So this next boss is actually a suicide run if you don't have any homeward bones. So, but I figured out a trick with suicide runs. If you get to the spot you're going to, then you grab the item. You can just homeward bone out without killing yourself. But yeah, if you want to, you can, but it's not necessary or anything. So, I'm actually going to homeward bone out of this boss because he's not hostile until you make him hostile by grabbing the item we're going to grab. So, we're going to be using a homeward bone to get out of this boss fight. We're going to have to run through Quelaag and head down to the Demon Ruins area. That was really weird, sped up. Anyway, so you can. So we're gonna go ahead and cure us of our poison, even if it won't kill us. But yeah, it saves us some Estus. So go ahead and run down here. Remember, don't kill those guys. And we're gonna have to run through Quelaag's boss fight area, which is probably the biggest in the game, I think. Maybe next to a Bed of Chaos, but I don't think that really counts. Then we can run up here to the Bell of Awakening room and head down the stairs. All the way down the stairs. And then we run down this little corridor into the demon ruins. So yeah, here we are. There's more of those guys you're not supposed to kill and a bonfire, but we are not gonna rest there because we're gonna teleport right back to the Undead Parish once we're done here so that we can get on the Sense Fortress. You can see that's a neat little drop that somehow damages you. You can see all that lava. It's pretty much an instant kill, but you can get rid of it by killing this boss that we're about to go into. But I'm pretty sure he's a higher level boss anyway, so we're just gonna grab his item and get out. It's probably one of the most unique boss fights, I think. When you enter his area, he is not hostile. As you can see, there's no health bar or anything, and the boss is just standing there. I'll show you guys that later. But in a bit, he's guarding the armor of the Chaos Sisters, and which, coupled with the Great Scythe, makes you look a little bit like the Grim Reaper or something. So we'll be looking like that for the rest of this video, actually. So here we are. Pull around this corner, and you can see the boss. Now he's really, really, really big, and he's completely non-hostile unless you grab the item that we're about to grab. So, yeah, I'm gonna prove it to you guys. Unless you hit him or grab the item that you're about to grab, he is entirely non-hostile. His name is Ceaseless Discharge, and he's a required boss to get rid of the lava on the lower floors. But other than that, we're just going to grab this item and homeward bone out, because he will start attacking us once we do. So, here's a fancy armor set, and a homeward bone. So yeah. Now that we have that armor, we're going to go ahead and put it on, but first, we have a few things to do. So, let's go ahead and we'll talk to this guy. And get some titanite shards so we can upgrade the Boulder Shield, which is the weapon we will be using for this build thing for this lighter set build, because it has pretty high stability and it has the capability to parry. So apparently we don't have any large titanite shards, so we're just gonna leave it at +5 for now. Let's go ahead and store some stuff in the bottomless box that we don't need anymore. Because we'll have 2 builds, it'll be easier if we leave all this stuff in the bottomless box so we don't have to worry about switching between it. So as you can see, the Firekeeper's stuff is way worse, so we're not going to stick with that. So I'm just going to store some unneeded weapons because we'll be switching between weapons as well. Yeah, just store everything except the Great Scythe, the Zweihander, and maybe the crossbows, and yeah, bolts and stuff. And most of the shields probably, because they have special resistances that might be necessary. And I just realized I put on the Wanderer set. So I forgot to store that, or missed it or something, so I'm just going to have to do that really quick. And now that we have that on, we're going to go ahead and put on our gear. And then get rid of our Zweihander so we can roll a bit faster. So now we can mid-roll. We'll be focusing on upgrading our endurance so we can fast roll for the next few levels. But for now, I think this will be the best build to use in Sense Fortress with all its trappy fun. So it's time to head down there. 2 seconds away. Let's go. So down this corridor. If you'd actually gone here earlier, you would see an NPC sitting beside the door. You could talk to him for a bit. It's just some flavor text. We'll talk to him later in this video, and we'll get his side quest. So don't step on that pressure plate there. That shoots arrows at you, which can kill. But surprisingly, which can also kill these guys. So yeah, that does enough damage to entirely kill one of them. As you can see, we're doing quite a bit of damage to the snake man here. And we're taking very little stamina, and we have a neat little fire effect too. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. Anyway, so Sen's Fortress is full of swinging blades and pressure plates with arrows, and really narrow bridges, and trapped pits full of headless demons. It's really not a fun place, but actually it kind of is. I forgot that's not where I keep the crossbow. So you might have noticed the lightning bolt fly at us. That was the only other variety of snake men in this area. They have bleed-affecting great swords, 4 of them in fact, and they also have a shoot lightning ability. But overall, they're actually weaker than the other guys. So here, it's not really all that damaging either. As you can see, we barely took any damage. It's easy, it has way less health. So as you see, blocking the arrows only stops your stamina recovery for a bit. There's a couple more large titaniumite shards, and we can run up here. So don't worry about the sleepy guy down there that's hanging against the wall. I think this is a scripted event because it didn't take much damage from that giant boulder there. So anyway, he's gonna walk slowly back up. So that's basically just to illustrate that, yes, there is a boulder. So we're actually gonna wait for a boulder here. Here's one, and we're going to go down and talk to Siegmeyer, which is the guy that was sitting there, and a lot of people's favorite NPC. Yeah, here he is. So he's Siegmeyer of Katarina. He's right up flat against a wall, or a ball. Apparently he's too fat to be outrunning them. So he's weighing his options or something. So he's considering rolling actually, but apparently his head would spin. And don't worry, you can't roll into the boulders, you just take damage anyway. So yeah. Wait for the boulder to go by and then run on it. Apparently I'm being a little bit chicken and I'm waiting. Anyway. It's good to be safe. These boulders are really damaging. Here comes another one. So there's actually one bit where it goes down a really twisted, narrow passageway with a boulder, so it can get pretty annoying. Here's one of these guys. And then I rolled off because I was pretty sure there would be a boulder. Anyway, if you guys want to explore, there's plenty of items to grab, but we have most of our sets fully put together. Though we don't have Havel's set yet, we can grab that in the next area. So, yeah, it's really not all that necessary yet. So, yeah, here comes another boulder. And now we can get actually moving in the area, but actually, there is an item to grab first. It's another special ring. You need a lot more rings in this next area. This one is the Ring of Steel Protection. It actually provides bonus defense against physical attacks, which makes it a very good ring in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and wear it, along with the Chloranthy ring. So yeah, here we are, and we can go through the fog gate here. It does not have a boss fight, but instead leads us into more narrow, twisty passages. So there's the arrow slit back there. So yeah, there's another snake guy on the opposite end, so if you're really smart or something, you could trigger it with him and shoot him. But yeah. So yeah, Just go ahead and get rid of this guy. Remember, you don't want anyone following you. So, go ahead and run up this way. And this is where a narrow little twisty passageway is. And for some reason, whenever you come up here, the switch is always twisted to make this ball go down this way. So yeah, go and run down here, and I found a neat little shortcut where you can just roll down the ledge instead of waiting for it to pass. But, well, yeah. So now I'm going to show you guys a mimic. Mimics are characterized by the chain you see there. It's pointing in a straight direction instead of a circle. If you open the chest, they will grab you and eat you. So what you do is you attack them. So they have a lot of really annoying, high damaging attacks. But other than that, they're actually kind of easy, especially if you block them all or dodge them all. So let's get rid of this guy. He gives you an item that a lot of people like for some reason. It's called the Lightning Spear. It's basically a spear that's been ascended to lightning damage for you. But overall, the damage is really minuscule. Fancy word there. And I don't really think it's totally worth it, especially the only reason people use it is because you can attack from behind a shield. So it's really not all that great, but it's there. So anyway, we're going to wait for a boulder to pass because there. And here, smash through a wall, and lets us access the covetous gold serpent ring here. So what this ring can do is it boosts your discovery of items dropped from people. So yeah, it's a pretty nice ring. And in case you're wondering about that little Steam message that popped up there, that was one of my friends asking me to play Borderlands 2 with him. So if you, yeah, just to let you guys know, if you think I should do a walkthrough of that next, you can let me know in the comments. But other than that, I'm planning to do Cave Story, but I think it's a little too early to be talking about what I'm doing next, so let's just get on with Dark Souls. Anyway, you're up these stairs. You don't need to worry. There's no boulders unless you make there be boulders. This is the switch that chooses where the boulders will go. This is the safe way. What you're going to do is you always put the boulders that way when you're done with them. So that was the way you first encountered boulders. The way it was facing was the twisty passageway, and this way opens up a shortcut and also hurts a snake man for you. Actually, it's not really a shortcut, but it lets you access an NPC who's in a cage. You can only open if you have a key from later, or the master key, which we do. So yeah, the master key is actually definitely the most useful starting gift. But unfortunately, if you do go down this way and choose to interact with the NPC, you're going to have to go through most of Sen's Fortress again to get back to the switch room. So yeah, you know that he should be dead now. Yeah. Let's go ahead and talk to Big Hat Logan. He's probably the best sorcerer ever. So he's in a cell, and he can teach us really special sorceries like soul spears, which are probably the best type of damage spell in the game. So he's going to go back to Firelink and sell us some highly advanced sorceries. So he actually does appear later in an area known as the Duke's Archives, where he teaches you a lot of other sorceries that are based on crystals, which make them even better. There's the Soul of a Hero, which is the second to best possible soul item in the game. The best is the Soul of a Great Hero, which is even, it's a ridiculous amount of souls. So we're just going to save that for a time when we might actually need it. So anyway, now that we've already been through this part, I'm just going to go ahead and speed it up for you guys. So you see I had definitely twisted the lever to point towards the safe way. So while I'm here, I'm actually going to show you guys this little ledge here because I can. It's a large soul of a proud knight. It's really not all that good. This leads up back to the beginning of the area with the boogers. Now, actually, you might be wondering about the blood stains on the elevator. If you wait on the elevator for too long, like somebody's blocking you or something, you'll actually go up and hit some spikes and die instantly. I've never actually had this happen to me because I was smart enough and nobody ever blocked me. So, but if it happens to you, just, you've been warned. Anyway, you go up this little side passageway this way. And if you have this set on, and all the arrows will just miss you if you just dash through, so it's pretty nice. So anyway, as you can see, there's 4 things here. It looks really menacing, but one quick dash through and you're done. So this bit always creeps me out. I'm always afraid of going one way and a snake guy following me the other way. So I'm just gonna get rid of this guy quick and easy, where I can watch the other guys. Yeah, this part, I don't know why, but oh well. So anyway, to get rid of this guy, I believe he's guarding a little hole that leads down to a neat little area that holds another neat little ring. It's called the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring. It completely muffles any sound you make, which basically means you are now silent. There's another ring you can get later in the game from the Forest Covenant called the Ring of Fog, which makes you invisible. And with that and the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, you can be like a ghost. If you're wearing the Grim Reaper set like we are, we're like the Grim Reaper, you know, you're death incarnate, so it's pretty cool. So you emit completely no sound when you're wearing that ring. So there's actually some neat little stuff on the bottom of this area, but we're not going to show that to you guys just yet. Because, yeah, it's pretty hard to get through, and I'm not sure our character's quite ready for that yet. Because there's a whole bunch of the headless demons. But if you guys want to try it, I think we might actually do that in the next video, just because we'll be unlocking a shortcut down to the bottom anyway. So we might as well. So yeah. Wait for the elevator and get up on it. We're gonna head back to where we were earlier. But you always gotta remember to switch it to the safe way, because otherwise Siegmeier gets stuck, you know. So if you may remember these things, it's really just a quick run. It's really not all that hard. So anyway, he's dead now, and his arm's stuck in a wall. So okay then. So run up here and kill this guy next. This is actually the way to the next area. With my philosophy, you always go the wrong way first. This is not the way we'll be going just yet. Apparently he has an acid spit attack too. Apparently, I never knew that. As you can see, his great sword called flamberges or something actually do bleed damage, so it's to be avoided. Here's another of the basic snake men. He's guarding I think a couple of more large titaniate shards. I've got to have my titaniate. Anyway, I'm gonna get rid of this guy and grab those. So you may notice that these guys drop 500 souls each. With the level we're at, it's not really all that much, but it might be a good grinding technique if you want to. Just go into the first room and have the arrows kill one and kill the other yourself. So here's this guy. We're gonna go ahead. So as you can see, we have no bolts left, unfortunately. So we can't really kill that snake guy, so we're just gonna have to run by him, although there is one thing we can try, and I'm missing horribly. That does barely any damage at all, so we're just gonna switch back to our great scythe and do a hope for the best run. As you can see, we timed it perfectly. So there's the arrow slit here, and we can run up here and kill that guy. So yeah. He launched a lightning attack so close for some reason. Anyway, we dropped him down. That should be good enough. And it's almost time to head onto the roof area. Now we will not finish Sen's Fortress in this video. We're just going to finish the inside the fortress bit. There's still the roof and the very bottom bit that I haven't showed you yet. maybe a few extra items that you guys can explore around for a bit for. But anyway, yeah. So here's some more Baldur Knights. They're a little harder than the previous versions. They take 4 Fire Great Scythe hits. Probably a few less if you're using the Sway Hinge, but the Sway Hinge is pretty much slower. So anyway, go ahead and run down this bit. Here's another one. These are really the only 2 Baldur Knights in this area, I think. So they have maybe a couple new attacks, but not really that much. So here's the chest he was guarding. As you can see, it's not a mimic by the curved chain. It's the Flame Stone Plate Ring. It protects you against fire, but we're not going to be equipping that because, quite frankly, the armor we have right now is the most fire resistant in the game, from what I know. So we'll be perfectly fine, so you don't need to worry about that. Although if you are being a little paranoid about this next bit where this guy throws fire bombs at you, then maybe you could equip the Flame Stone Plate Ring and then equip the Dragon Crest Shield while you're at it, just so you have something that is really resistant to fire. You can see we barely take any damage at all anyway. So now it's time to show you guys the bonfire, and the video's almost over, so this will be the last bit of here. Here's the bonfire. The only bonfire that's actually in Sen's Fortress. So like I said earlier, we're going to be pumping all our points into endurance so that we can fast roll eventually. As you can see, still mid-rolling, unfortunately. So, yeah, I will show you guys where this leads next video. Have a good day, and we'll finish Sen's Fortress sometime soon.